Hi, everybody. Welcome to I think we're on episode 17 of the Hello Grace podcast. I'm your host, SarahStevens. Y'all, it's been I think it just rebuffered. I don't know. Here we are. Camera problems already. I think it's been close to 7 weeks since I podcasted last. So much stuff has gone on. I've kind of been out of the spotlight for a little bit because our family has been dealing with some things that have happened. So I'm not going to go into details. Thank you for the prayers and support for those who've sent them and who's known what's going on. And otherwise, let's move on. It's 2018. This is officially the very first episode in 2018, and I'm so excited. I have New Year's resolutions. I have New Year's goals. I have all of these big, grand ideas, and I really hope that I can follow through with them. We'll see. We officially paid off all of our debt this year. Guys, this is like the biggest thing. So we are moving into 2018 pretty much 100% debt free and minus the house. It's like the biggest thing ever. So we really had to put our nose to the grindstone for the last 2 years, which meant that we unfortunately went through a lot of different changes. A lot of different things happened. But the good thing is from all of that craziness, a lot of really new, amazing things have come out of it too. Like Graceland Wool and like this podcast. So anyways, okay. My name is SarahStevens. You can find me on Ravelry as SarahStevens. You can find me on Instagram as Graceland_wool. And I am the owner and creative director, I guess, behind Graceland Wool. You can find my shop at gracelandwool.com. I also design a few things, which is kind of fun. So you can find me on Ravelry there as SarahStevens Knits or SarahStevens Designs. I don't know. It's been changed a couple times. Today, I am drinking out of my super awesome Starbucks mug that my dad gifted me this year. He apparently had intended to gift it to me last year, but while he was moving this year, he found my last year's Christmas present tucked away and gave that to me instead, which was kind of fun. So I'm really excited to be drinking out of this. This guy, he holds so much coffee, so I drink it pretty fast, but I do find myself popping it into the microwave more often. I have a Keurig, so I can do 18 ounces in this comfortably. I love it. So here we are with my coffee episode, I think 17, the beginnings of 2018. And I thought we would really quick do a recap of all of the things. If you heard that shuffling in the background, that is my cat. She found a bag. I don't know what this is that just popped up on my computer. That is my next big thing, is I'm going to be getting a new computer. So I'm researching some Macs right now, and that is going to be my first big official purchase in 2018. I'm really excited. I think it's going to be happy birthday to me in March. I'm so excited. Okay, tangents galore. So I knit some things for Christmas. Actually, I knit a lot of things for Christmas. I do not have all of them with me, but I do have some of them. So I wanted to show them off. They've been well loved, well worn. So they aren't the prettiest right now, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's go with hats. So every single year I like to knit my kids a new hat. You already saw this one. This one went to my daughter Vanessa, but what you didn't see is this cute little tag that has my logo on it that I have started putting on all of my sweaters and hats. I'm so excited about it. I think it looks super cute on. So there we go. This is the Lake Reed hat. Apologize, I don't know the designers' names. I'm doing this on a whim. This podcast, I have about 45 minutes before crazy happens. Wow, look at my hair. Isn't that amazing how... Whew, I can't even fix it on the camera because I don't know which way it's supposed to go. Anywho. Okay, so that's the Lake Reed hat. I did that out of Cascade Longwood in this beautiful brick red colorway. I knit my husband a hat, and he has it downstairs. I didn't grab it, but it's a blue hat. It's a little bit deeper blue than this. His is out of Neighborhood Fiber Company, and I did this really awesome pattern, and it's on my pattern pages. Excuse me. So go look, go see what that is. I don't remember. I'll put notes down below, or I'll just show it next time. I'll show it next time. I did my son an Olive and Jack hat. This hat pattern I wrote last year, and it's probably still one of my favorite hat patterns. It gets worn all of the time. The kids love this. There's a lot of good stretch. It covers the ears. These are all important things that I wanted. This is a little boy size, and while it's pretty snug, it still fits me. So here we are again. The hair. I'm going to stop putting the hats on. I'm going to definitely stop putting the hats on because I can't see how to fix my hair afterwards. So I knit this out of Plucky Knitter, their cashmere worsted blend. So it's super soft. He's so lucky to get this hat. I told him he has to take amazing care of it. Do you see this little head popping over here? There we go. Right there. That's Charlie. We have this teeny tiny little window. Tiny, like just little window that allows you to kind of have some light in my otherwise pretty dark living room area, and I have one on either side of my house. And it faces the east side of the house, so it kind of lets in some light. And she likes to climb up there, and the ledge is maybe this big. Anyways, okay, so I got that done for Ethan. And then out of the most amazing Suburban Stitcher yarn, and it's totally getting blown out. So this is a beautiful mint green. It really is a beautiful mint green background. This is Suburban Stitcher yarn, so Diane did a beautiful job. My favorite is, I don't know if you can see it, but this bright yellow, like spirals up the hat. The pink spirals too, but my favorite is the bright yellow. It's like this neon yellow marigold color. And it does have a pom-pom. I did put a button inside. It had a pom-pom. Apparently she ripped it off trying to pull it out of her backpack at orchestra. So I will have to put that back on because she said she couldn't put it on or something. I don't know. So there we are. This pattern is a really fun, fast feather pattern. I'll have all the information in the show notes. It's also on my project page on Ravelry. So 4 hats done, which was super awesome. Then I got started on socks. My son has pretty much worn these nonstop. I had to steal them because they need to be washed and they're really gross, but I'm going to show you them anyways. I made some little shorty socks. Just kind of, I knit them toe up on 2.0 millimeter. Okay, I don't know what all you saw. My camera keeps doing some funny rebuffering. So, okay, I knit these on 2.0 millimeter. I actually knit these on my Hiya Sharps, and I knit them toe up. And this is 3 Irish Girls Adorn. I don't remember the colorway. Forgive me for that. I'll also have that in show notes. But it's this really awesome blue. I think it's pretty boyish, but anyways, so those for Caitlin. I started this pair of socks last year and never finished it, so I finished them. One was done, but the other was not. So I knit these cute little boot socks, and they're just super tall. I did knit them cuff down, and I gave them contrasting toes and heels. They're just a basic vanilla sock, but I knit them out of a sport weight in a colorway I dyed. Here we are, to be named at a later date. And then my last pair of socks that I have here is a pair of socks that I knit Vanessa, and these are on Knitted Wits Sassy Santa colorway. And I also knit these ones cuff down, and they're cute. They just pop over the top of her shorty boots, so they're super sweet. This is a really heavy fingering weight yarn, Knitted Wits fingering weight yarn. It's super plush and squishy and lovely, and I love it. And I cannot wait to knit another pair. I think I have one more skein of her yarn in my stash, so we're gonna get at that this year. Okay. Whips on socks. Since we are talking about socks, I feel like I'm going really fast, but I feel like I have very little time, and my camera keeps freezing, so I'm not entirely sure what this is all going to look like, but oh well. Okay, so I cast onto my January socks because last year I participated in the box of socks, and this year I want to participate in the box of socks as well. And I thought, you know, this is perfect. Do I have the tags? Shoot, I'm going to pop over here really, really quick, and I'm going to grab my tags. Okay, so I cast on a pair of socks for January out of my very first ever skein of Hue Loco yarn. This is on her spun sock base. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. And this colorway is called DJ Glitter Buns. So I could not resist. Here we go. It's not, my camera's not picking up the greens very well. There is a definite green background to this. There's some more neon greens. My lighting is not so fantastic right now. And so I cast onto my sock. I'm doing a shorter leg for this sock. I like it though. I really do. I'm doing about 40 rounds. I did a 20 row cuff, and I'm going to do, well, I did 40 rows of the pattern on the leg, and then I'm doing a contrasting heel and toe on this. I'm making Mina Phillips Pebble sock pattern, and I don't know if my camera is focusing. It's kind of not, huh? Oh, it is what it is, I guess. So I'm doing Mina Phillips Pebbles pattern for this one. And then for my heel and toe, I'm using some Hedgehog sock yarn, and this is the Skinny Dip colorway. So it's this really awesome green. So that is my January sock, and I'm super excited to get these done. Clearly my goal is to have them done before the end of the month, and I will. I definitely will. I loved participating in this box of socks last year. While I didn't actively participate in the Ravelry thread, I did get 12 pairs, and I did bring them to show you. 12 pairs, meaning some of them I did gift. Like originally I set out to knit 12 pairs of socks that were just for me, but I found that to be a little crazy come the holidays. I really did utilize some of my socks and give them away. So anyways, I picked up this really fun, like almost linen box. Here we are. And it's just a file box, essentially, but it's linen. It has like this fabric covering on it. And it's this like grayish denim blue. And I love it. So here we are. My box of socks. These ones are all mine. I'm not giving any of these away. So every single pair of these, minus one pair has their ends woven in, have officially been blocked. One pair still needs their ends woven in, but that's okay. Okay, so if you guys remember, my pair of Mercury socks knit out of Graceland wool yarn in the Lucy's embroidery colorway. I love that one. This is one of my favorites, actually. Here is a pair of vanilla socks. These are a little big, but I love them. I wear them. I'm going to wear them in my rain boots. This is knit out of Spun Right Round, and forgive me, I want to say this has something to do with cowboy something. So I love that. I did a contrasting toe out of some Graceland wool yarn. Next pair. So that's pair number 2. Pair number 3, I knit out of Woolen Vines Fairy Hair colorway that Chelsea and Sue of the Legacy Fiber Arts podcast picked up for me one time that they went on a shopping trip. So I sent them money. They picked up some Woolen Vine yarn for me because I can never get it. I can never catch an update to save my life. So they were amazing. Here we are. So another pair of Mercury socks in the Fairy Lights colorway. Okay. Here is another pair of Spun Right Round. This is the patina colorway. I had been keeping this in my stash forever, and I finally just knit them up. I was going to give them to Vanessa, but I fell in love with them, so they're mine. So that is pair number 4. It's just a vanilla sock. Pair number 5 is a pair from, or it's a skein of yarn from Dana of Unwind Yarn Company. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of the colorway, but it was beautiful. And I designed this pair of socks out of it. It was a Harry Potter inspired sock pattern. This is Obliviate. It represents Hermione's Muggle side. So, and as it fades away, you'll see that. And then her wizarding self back here. And it's on the back because she had to keep it hidden from lots of people. So that pattern was super fun to design, and I loved knitting it. And I actually have another pair planned. So that is pair number 5. Pair number 6 is Obliviate. Pair number 7 is also a skein of Graceland wool yarn with contrasting heels and toes. This is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern by Erica Luder, and I am in love with this colorway. I think this colorway is going to make its way back into the shop pretty soon. That was one of my favorites. Okay, that is pair number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pair number 7. Pair number 8 is another pair of Hermione's Everyday Socks. This is in my After the Storm colorway. I knit these cuff down, and this colorway will, oops, almost made it in my coffee, will come back into the shop in April. Look for pre-orders probably in March, so that'll be heading down. All right, pair number 9. I'm so excited about my box of socks. I cannot wait to wear all of these. Pair number 9 is Tea with Biscuits and Jam colorway from Graceland Wool with a contrasting toe. And this is it's Mina Phillips Grand Central Station socks. I finished them. and I love them. So there are those. Okay, this pair I was going to gift to my daughter, but I got them done and I figured we can share them. Share. And I'm okay with sharing them. They're amazing. So I had one sock done, and it sat languishing forever. And so I got the other sock done. I don't know why it took me forever to knit, but I did do contrasting cuff and heel, so not to mess up the striping pattern. And this is the, I think it's called Daily Eggs colorway from Stacy of Mustache Yarn. It was part of a kit. I want to say that kit was with Freckled Whimsy. Yeah. Yep, I believe so. Pair number 11 is the last pair that does not have its ends woven in. Is a sock pattern I designed forever ago. It is a vanilla sock essentially with some beautiful pinstriping that runs down it. Just enough interest to kind of change it up a bit. I do want to knit this pattern again pretty soon, but I also used the cuff is, I believe, a Three Irish Girls Adorn. Sure feels like it. Three Irish Girls Adorn, and then the body of the sock, the remainder of the sock, is a Unwind Yarn Company in the something to do with elephants. Trunkless elephants colorway, maybe? Dana, you'll have to let me know if I'm wrong. So there we are. That is 11 pairs for me. The 12th pair I did make, and I gifted to my sweet friend Jessica. She's been my friend forever, and so I gave her that 12th pair for Christmas, and I unfortunately never got a picture of it. Maybe she will be so kind as to send me a picture with her wearing them so I can put a project page up. That would be great. So there we are. That is an entire year of my box of socks, and I am so excited about this coming year's box of socks. I can't wait to get started on filling that box up. As soon as I have my first pair in, I think it'll feel better. But I have so many plans. I wanted to kind of pull out yarn for that box of socks, but then I thought, you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to plan that way with my 2018 goals. I'm just going to kind of go with what feels good. I have no rules. I'm not going to knit all of my socks with Graceland wool. I'm not going to spend my entire year only knitting with Graceland wool. And here's why, you guys. I know a lot of dyers are doing that, but there are so many dyers out there that can create colorways that I can't. And I want to play around with those. I want to knit with them. I want to support those designers. I don't think that I should only knit with Graceland wool yarn. I want to support my friends, and I want to enjoy their product as well. So, you know, no, I'm not making any rules like that. So no harm for those who are. Like, I do want to knit with more of my own yarn, but not solely my own yarn. I'm just throwing that out there. So, and for the same reason why for giveaways and things like that, I'm not only going to give away my yarn. I want to support all of the indie dyers. I want to support all of the makers, and you know, everybody has their own niche and is able to do their own thing so well. I don't know. Tangent rambling. I'm not good with words this morning. Trying to go fast. I'm at 24 minutes, and I'm pretty sure chaos is coming in about. So I've got 2 more projects to show you that I have put some work into, and gosh, no, I have more than that. Crud, guys. Okay, so I designed a new mitten pattern. I'm sure you guys saw it. I absolutely Love it. It is available on Ravelry now. I'll put all of the information in the down bar. Nope, I'll probably put it in show notes. But anyways, the inspiration was this sweet pair of mittens that I knit out of Knitterly Things self-striping sock yarn. So I got one pair done for Vanessa, and I did little contrasting thumbs for her. I got a pair knit for myself, which I can't wait to, I loved this. Mine looks marled because I held 2 strands of yarn together. I held a strand of Madeline Tosh and a strand of Madeline Tosh fingering weight, and then a strand of Icegar lace alpaca. And so they're like super fuzzy. I don't know if you can see like the halo that happens. Yeah, they're super fuzzy and marled and awesome. So these ones are mine. And then I did knit this cute little pair for Caitlin that are well loved. I had to pull these out of her backpack. She's been playing in the snow and taking them to school. But these sweet little ones are, I mean, look at this. She has definitely been playing in the snow. You can see how well loved they are. This is the Nora colorway from Three Irish Girls, and this is on the Adorn base, which I think I've talked about before. I have a plethora of at my house, but I think that base has been discontinued. So, so 3 pairs of mittens, a crap ton of socks, new socks on the way, and now let's talk about blankets, shall we? Okay, this one is attached to the ball, so I can't stretch it out too crazy, but I did put some love into my Cozy Memories blanket. I've almost got it squared off, which I'm so excited about. So here we are. This is where I'm at. And you can see I only have, after this square, 6 more squares to go. But I've got this all done. And oops, this all done. It's awesome. Oops, there goes my needle. It is about the perfect lap size blanket right now. And I'm happy with that because the person who's going to be getting this blanket is my aunt. And she is, hold on. I didn't want to step on my needle. I am using these Knitter's Pride Carbon Straights, and this is a 2.0 millimeter straight needle. And I love this just for this project. So I use these to knit my little squares. But anyways, she and my great grandma used to make crazy quilts. And I do have a few of them downstairs, which I should bring up and show you at some point. But my aunt was in a had a pretty terrible accident a few years ago and left her mostly the left side of her body not able to work. So it's mostly paralyzed. I would say, I mean, it's slowly coming back, and but it's as back as it's ever going to be. And it does not allow her to do any of the things that she used to do. She is pretty much wheelchair bound now, and she no longer can sew. And so I'm making her a lap blanket for her chair because, you know, it's fun. It has all these bright different colors, and for the most part, I have knit a pair of socks out of every single square that's on there. And one of her feet was, half of her foot a few years before this was amputated, so I no longer can knit her socks easily. So this is kind of my my way of giving her something that she can always have with her to keep her warm and cozy and she can use in her chair. So I'm super excited. My plan was to get it done for Christmas. I did not get it done for Christmas, but as soon as I get it done, I will be packaging that up and sending it off to her. It just needs those last 6 squares, and then I'm just going to put a really easy border on it. So yeah, super, super excited. Either way, it's still going to be cold outside, cold enough for her to be able to utilize it. So that is my Cozy Memories blanket, and I have pondered whether or not I'm going to cast on a new one as soon as this one is over, and I think I'm going to give it some time. I do still have my granny stripe crochet blanket on the needles, and then Bonehead Me just decided to join along in the Eat Sleep Knit along for the year, and I'm excited about this. So if you guys have never purchased yarn or from Eat Sleep Knit, then you may not know that they do a year-long knit along. And you can earn badges and points, and it's super fun, and you get put on teams. And if you've ever participated in like Camp Loopy with the Loopy U, it's similar but not really. Like it's way more detailed and everything. Sorry about the camera, you guys. I had to scoot it back. But I cast onto my blanket, so I'm waiting for the rest of my yarn. The parameters are that you can only knit with Eat Sleep Knit yarn. So if you purchased it from there, then you can use it for this knit along. So I haven't purchased much from there. So for me, I'm going to have to purchase as I go, but it's totally fine. I did purchase a large amount of hedgehog last year, which kind of will allow me to use some of it. So these socks will not count because it has to all be in hedgehog, not hedgehog, all be in Eat Sleep Knit yarn, but I am using some of my for the toes and cuffs, but I think I'm going to maybe knit a pair of Mercury socks out of the leftover, and like one of them is this summer. It's like the summer socks, so 1/4 challenges over the summer is to knit socks, and it's like totally up my alley. But there's a year-long knit along that happens, and this year it's a blanket. Well, last year it was a blanket too, but this year it's a mitered square blanket, and it's called the Hue Shift Afghan. So it takes 10 or 11 colors. I purchased 10 colors, and they are coming my way, and they should be here soon. And then I had a few skeins in my stash from Eat Knit that I could use and get started. So I kind of did my pattern along those lines, but I did get my first chunk of squares done. So you can kind of see how the colors shift and mingle. There's like this huge PDF that you can play with to see how your colors are going to work out. And that's what I did. And I couldn't be happier with it. I absolutely adore it. So here we are. It's going to be huge. It actually is knit in 4 different sections, and each section has 25 squares. So I'm working on the first section, and these 3, 6, 8 squares took me Friday night and Saturday night, like probably 2 hours on Friday night and 2 hours on Saturday night, and I got this done. So I have no doubt in my mind that I will be able to complete this blanket in time. I'm just going to be knitting on the weekend evenings, I think, and not the rest of the time. And then the rest of my knitting for whatever I want to be doing will be during the week and on my lunch break and everything like that. So I am giving myself some parameters as far as that goes, because sometimes if I don't, things don't get done, or I only end up working on one thing, and I don't want to do that. So there you are. So this has been started, and I'm so excited. So my 10 skeins, I bought 1 skein per color, and they should be here, I think Tuesday. I think on Tuesday. And I can get started on the rest of the colors. Now it's going to take me a minimum of 2 skeins per colorway. And then the border, I think, takes 2 skeins, 2 full skeins itself, I believe. And if my gauge is right and my tension's right, which I'm not paying attention to, honestly. So I don't care. I just want a really nice, awesome big blanket. that is fun, and I think this is going to be great. I'm so excited. So I'm knitting this out of Cascade 220, and I don't have all my bands here. Yeah, but I'm going to list them on the project page, all of the colorways that I use. And, you know, I figure, like, as it goes along, if Eat Sleep Knits doesn't have the colorways that I need for the next round of 10, like, I'll just change them. It's not a big deal. It's supposed to be a huge shift. So as long as they're similar, it'll be fine. It'll be just fine. So, that's my last project. That is a lot of projects. 2 have been completed. Some really fun year-long one to get going. My sock planning goals. So yeah, super excited about that. This year I sat down and kind of briefly wrote out my 2018 knitting goals, and I put them on my Ravelry account, like my profile at the bottom. And there are some things that I really want to do this year. Like, I do want to do my 12 socks again. I do want to finish this blanket. I do want to participate in the Eat Sleep Knits knit along all year long. And I want to cut down my stash. My stash is crazy. So I want to use up an entire cubby of my stash this year, whether that is using it myself or gifting it away or getting rid of it, however that looks. I do want to cut that down, and I am going to feel better about that, because I went through a period of time that I thought that I needed to be purchasing all of this stuff to be a part of, like, to show on the podcast and everything, and I don't feel like that's the truth. There are so many podcasters out there that don't do that, like Amy Beth, for example, and I love Amy Beth. So I'm following in footsteps. I'm not purchasing something new all of the time just to show on the podcast, and that makes me really happy. I have some amazing yarn that I can share with you already. I don't need to go out and buy more of it. Okay. With that said, am I going to purchase yarn still? Most definitely. No, it won't all be from Eat Sleep Knits. I do plan to make some purchases. I decided not to join a Yarn of the Month club this year. However, I did decide that I'm going to purchase a skein or 2 from a different indie dyer each month, and that's going to be my sock yarn club. It's kind of going to be homemade, and so I'm just putting that money aside to do that, and I'm really excited about that because that's going to give me the availability to try all of these different dyers out that I've been wanting to try. So I'm really excited about that. January was Hue Loco, which is I did purchase it or in advance, so I just went ahead and did that, and so January was kind of my buy. But January is Hue Loco, and February, I'm not sure who I'm going to pick yet. I really want to get a hold of, okay, so I want to knit so many from different companies, but Adelaide Cottage, I cannot seem to catch one of hers. So that is my February goal. I'm going to be stalking her for that. So February, that is my plan. Okay, let's talk about yarn that has officially gone up in the shop and out. So my very first round of Harry Potter clubs is officially done, over with. All the yarn has been sent, and I am showing you all 3 skeins because everybody's month 3 skein was different. So I'm going to explain that in a minute. If you participated in this, you would have already gotten these skeins, or at least the first 2, and hopefully a third one is on its way to you. But I did, for October, we did Happy Birthday Harry Potter, and it is a very neutral skein with pinks and browns and mints and grays, and I just love it. It represents the cake. So everybody got a skein of this. For November, it was the Yule Ball. I really wanted to pull in some colors. That is actually pretty dang accurate. Some colors from Hermione's dress, all of the holly and the night sky is in there, and the greenery that is in the pictures, and I just assume that is happening all over the castle. So that is the Yule Ball. And then for month 3, I did Pensive Memories. And if you remember, Dumbledore has this giant pensieve that holds memories, and there's so many floating around in there. And so I thought something that would be really fun that I will continue to do in all of my Harry Potter clubs, and it will be something that's unique to my Harry Potter clubs, because I know there are a lot of them out there. On the 3rd month, so that would be December, March, June, and September, right? Anyways, 4 of the months out of the year that this happens, there will be a Pensive Memory month, and it will be the last one. So everybody will receive a skein of yarn that is completely unique unto themselves and will never be dyed again. I did not keep notes. This is the one I kept. This is Pensive Memory number 36. And I loved all of the different colors that were happening in this one. Like that little bit right there. I love it. So Pensive Memory number 36 is mine. Like I said, I'm not spoiling anything because everybody else's is completely different and unique to themselves. So I hope you enjoyed in your Harry Potter Club Round 1. Round 2 is heading into the dye pots next weekend, so I'm really excited about that, and we'll get them out and going. In addition to that, the very first ever round of Little Women is heading out, so I will be getting those in the dye pots next weekend as well, and they'll be heading out to you, and I'm super excited about that new club as well. So Harry Potter and Little Women, and they are kind of 2 of my favorites, as so many of you, I'm sure they are too. The other thing that I started was, well, I think there might be one more of the unicorn kits left in the shop, and I don't think I have a picture of the unicorn skein of yarn, but if I don't, it's right here. It is on a glitter base. It is more of pinks and purples, and there is a little bit of green popped in there, like some, not a minty green. It's maybe not really, like in some parts, maybe a Kelly green, and some parts maybe like a grass green. Yeah, maybe grass. Okay, so that is still available, and I believe that there might be one more skein left of A Wrinkle in Time. Oops. Never fails, right? Never fails. Every time I podcast, my phone goes off, and you'd think I'd learn. So there might be one more skein of A Wrinkle in Time available in the shop as well, and this is also on a glitter base. So that's super fun. Next weekend there will be a shop update, and it will contain a few different skeins. I do have some heavier weights going up in the shop as well, and so look forward to that. As far as prizes, if you want a prize in 2016, I finally have them all packaged up. Every single stinking one of them, and they will be heading out the door tomorrow morning. So I'm really excited about that. I felt so terrible, so I added some fun extra goodies in there. Every single one will contain a bag and a couple skeins of yarn, and then some other little extra. Originally it was just a skein of yarn, but it had taken so dang long. Those are heading out the door. So that is the wrap up of 2016. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me today. I know that I spoke pretty fast and I went through all of this pretty fast. My goal is to podcast again next Sunday and give you some progress on what I'm working on and really get going on a weekly thing. I think that that is my goal for 2018, to at least podcasts in a month, if not 3. So let's see if we can make it happen. All right. If you enjoyed this episode, a thumbs up is greatly appreciated. When you do that, then other people who might be looking for a new podcast to view will be able to find me easier. or sharing the podcast is great too. And like I always say, if this isn't your cup of tea, that's just fine. There are so many. In fact, I would be happy to recommend some that I totally love. So until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful week enjoying your tea and your coffee and your knitting, and I will catch up with you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.